Ellen, how are you doing? Taylor? Downey? Downey? How are you doing?
I'm the campus warrior. My efforts to stop the rain haven't happened as yet, but I'm confident that time we have the reception, we'll be able to go out in the park to education. For many of you graduates, you may well represent the first post-secondary graduate in the family history. And I would tell you, if you are, there's family out there that are so proud of this very moment to know that their friend, son, and daughter, whatever the case may be, their spouse, has accomplished this remarkable task. And I'm confident there'll be many more in the lives to come. In your program, I've had placed one of my favorite poems that's been written, and I'm just going to read the last paragraph of a stanza of the poem I believe that reads, "And so we are proud of each of you today, for all that you've learned and all that you've tried to learn. Knowledge brings the deepest satisfaction, not least because it's something that you've earned. Without a doubt, you've earned what you're receiving today. No one else."
Things I want to share with you about my experience here at Coleman College. I know with the knowledge that I have received here, I will make it. So once again, congratulations, class of 2007.
A great man once said, "The work of the world is done by ordinary people who have learned to work in an extraordinary way." Recently, I learned about a man who is, by all appearances, very ordinary and unremarkable. His name is Dick Hoyt, and his story is told by Rick Riley, a writer for Sports Illustrated. Many years ago, he and his wife were told by doctors that Rick, their infant son, was brain damaged and would be a vegetable the rest of his life. Put him in an institution, the doctors advised. It seems that would have been the easiest solution. But the Hoyts wouldn't settle, and they found a special computer that allowed Rick to communicate by touching a switch with the side of his head, which controlled the cursor. They found he wasn't a vegetable after all. In fact, there was quite a lot going on up there. After a high school classmate was paralyzed in an accident and the school organized a charity run for him, Rick pecked out, "Dad, I want to do that." Dick's first response? "Yeah, right." How is Dick, a self-described porker, never having run more than a mile on his own, supposed to push his son 5 miles? Still, he tried. "Then it was me who was handicapped," Dick says. "I was sore for 2 weeks." That day changed Rick's life. "Dad," he typed, "when we were running, it felt like I wasn't disabled anymore." And that sentence changed Dick's life. He became obsessed with giving Rick that feeling as often as he could. He got into such hard-belly shape that he and Rick were ready to try the 1979 Boston Marathon. At first, they got treated like a brown suit at a tuxedo convention. The Boston Marathon wouldn't let them enter, same with the Ironman. Other athletes looked at them like they were a freak show. Nobody knew what to do with them. They didn't fit in any existing categories or molds, but they persisted. Since that time, Dick and Rick have raced in a total of 955 events. 85 times he's pushed his disabled son Rick 26.2 miles in marathons. 8 times he's not only pushed him 26.2 miles in a wheelchair, but also towed him 2.4 miles in a dinghy while swimming, and pedaled him 112 miles on the handlebars, all in the same day. And he had to learn to swim to do it. Dick's also pulled him cross-country skiing, taken him on his back mountain climbing, and once hauled him across the U.S. on a bike. This year, at ages 65 and 45, Dick and Rick finished their 25th Boston Marathon. Their best time? 2 hours, 40 minutes in 1992. A time, according to Rick Riley, that is only 35 minutes off the world record, which, in case you don't keep track of these things, happens to be held by a guy who was not pushing another man in a wheelchair at the time. So as we go forward with our lives, what can we take from the story of Dick and Rick? First, decide what you love, what you want, and go get it. Don't accept limitations others might put on you. Second, don't take counsel from your fears. It is so easy to settle into the natural rhythm of life without taking any risk because we're afraid of failure, criticism, hard work, lack of money, intimidation, or fear of stepping outside of our comfort zone. But when there's no risk, there's no reward. And what a great reward this is, to have completed our goal of attaining a degree. We're all ordinary people who have learned to work in extraordinary ways. The only real limitations that we have are those we place on ourselves or allow others to place upon us. I'd like to thank all the graphic design teachers, each with your own unique way of teaching, critiquing, and inspiring us to become better designers. Thank you to both sides of my family for your encouragement and support, and without whose babysitting services would have made attaining my degree infinitely more difficult. And especially thank you, Dwayne, for being both mom and dad to our little girl every night, enabling me to achieve this goal of graduation. So, for all the family loved ones present today, thank you. We love you.
In January of 2006, I made a very big decision to go back to school. I contacted some people at Provo College. Can I do this? I got home, I told my family, my husband, and they were all very encouraging. Talked to one of my really good friends on the phone and told her I really kind of felt like throwing up at that moment. She told me, don't give up on yourself, Christy, you can do this.